Pantry preparedness is the act of stocking your pantry with a variety of non-essential foods and supplies in case of an emergency. Let's talk about pantry preparedness today. Hi everyone, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness, which is today's topic. It is one of my favorite things to talk about. I believe in having a prepared pantry, in case you can't tell from the background, because if you've ever run into those times when life throws you a curveball, this is money in the bank. This is something that you don't have to worry about. This is something that you don't have to try to find money for. This is something that will see you through hard times. Whether they're short or long, your pantry definitely makes life a lot easier. There are some key aspects to pantry preparedness. Let's talk about those first. Variety is the spice of life, right? So having variety in your pantry it's important. It really is. Food fatigue is a real thing. Let me know if you've ever experienced food fatigue. I have. It's not pretty. When you look at food, no matter how hungry you are, no matter how broke you are, no matter how whatever, and you just cannot imagine putting another bite of that into your face because it will make you sick, right? Food fatigue is not fun. So having a variety of your foods, not just meals, but a variety of foods as in proteins, vegetables, fruits, dairy, grains, carbohydrates, right? That kind of variety will help you be able to create all kinds of different things from what is stocked up in your pantry. So making sure that you have a variety of things to help you get through those difficult times, super important. Figure out a way to do substitutions, okay? They were talking about tomato shortage. I still haven't had time to look that up, but, not being able to go to the store and buy some ketchup. Do you have what you need in your pantry to make ketchup? Those simple things like that can make life so much easier, especially if you're dealing with smaller kids, right? They want what they want, and that's just what they want. Being able to navigate around the taste that your family prefers for certain foods is imperative. So sometimes it's not just about having that bottle of ketchup up there. It's also about having the ingredients to make your own ketchup and then knowing how to do it. Shelf life is super important. Putting stuff up in your pantry that only lasts 3 months is kind of a waste of space. You want things that will extend longer than that. Say a year. Shoot for a year, okay? So most of your canned goods, of course, your freeze-dried foods, right? Grains, pastas, that kind of thing, sauces, a lot of that will last you for a year plus. If you are a home canner, which you know I am, then those things can last you a few years with absolutely no problem at all. The food may lose a minute amount of nutrients, but it's food in your belly. It's still nutritious. It's still calories that you can use, and it's healthier than ramen noodles. When we're talking about an emergency kind of situation, also you need to factor in some things like how easy are these meals to prepare. For quite a while, there were a few of us that were doing a collaboration on shelf-stable pantry menu items. Look at your pantry and figure out things that you can make out of your shelf-stable pantry inventory, okay? Because the least amount of effort that you can put towards making something, the more likely you are to make it. It's just a fact of life. Should I go out and order a pizza? Or, hey, I can just throw a couple jars of this into a crock pot and I've got a bowl of chili. Yeah, not only are you saving money, but you're eating healthier in the long run. So finding out how easy these things are to prepare, that's key. That's really important. And some of us will find some things easier than others. So you don't always factor in, what I say or anybody else says. Sometimes it's as simple as cracking open a jar of Campbell's Chunky Soup and maybe pouring it over mashed potatoes. That's super simple. But is it super healthy? Not necessarily. So pick your battles, do your due. Don't stock it unless it's something that you eat today. Now I'm craving mashed potatoes. Personal preferences are key. They are seriously key, okay? There's no sense in stocking something that nobody in your family likes to eat. Even in case of an emergency, they're not going to touch it unless they absolutely have to, and then they're going to complain about it the entire time. So basically, you're wasting money. I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I stock it to barter with. Don't. Don't. That borders on ridiculous, okay? You're spending money on a maybe situation, on a not perishable. It's not like a loaf of bread, okay? But it's still not going to be good forever. Well, then I'll donate it to the food pantries. Because you don't like that crap, you expect somebody else to take it? Come on. Don't stock it unless it's something that you and your family enjoy and can tolerate eating. So with that, you have to factor in, are they gluten sensitive? Are they allergic to peanuts or peanut butter? You know, what kind of allergies do they have? What kind of texture issues do they have? These are the things that only you can really fine-tooth pay attention to in your inventory to make sure that you are not stocking things that nobody in your house can or will eat. Personal preferences are key, big time. So you do you and stock it up. Okay, Lisa, but how do we start? I have no pantry. How do I start? This one is not as hard as you may think. So first, take that first step. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. It's food. It's food, okay? So you want to sit down and you want to make a list of the kinds of meals that you and your family do enjoy, the kinds of foods that you and your family do enjoy. Does your family enjoy oatmeal? Oatmeal can be used for so many things. You can make, well, oatmeal. You can make cookies. You can make bread. You can make granola bars. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So it's a matter of figuring out what your family likes and then stocking it up from there. Figure out the meals that you eat for a 2-week period. Write them down. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if that's what you do. Snacks, if that's something that you have to think about for the kids, right? Write those all down for a couple of weeks and then base what you're going to stock up off of those. If that's something that your family really likes, bring the family in to have this discussion. Sit down, make that list, and say, okay, if we're going to have dinner every day at home for 2 weeks, what are we making? We're making lasagna, we're making goulash, we're having chili, we're having tuna noodle casserole, we're having, you know, whatever the case may be. That was a whole lot of pasta there, wasn't it? Anyway, so, you know, figure that part out. And then from there, you can break that down into the ingredients and find different ways to be able to stock up the food for those menu items. That's what you want to stock up first. The goal to start off with is 3 days of food. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and water. Don't forget about your water. So start off with that list. That's the launching pad. Don't forget about your drinks. Did I mention water? So sometimes the kids are going to have a problem with, I don't want just water. Okay. So have those drink pack mixes. Stock up on those. I have a stash of them. Have, you know, do they even make Tang anymore? Or Kool-Aid, or, you know, whatever the case may be that you can add to the water. But you want to make sure to have that water no less than a gallon per day, preferably 2 per person and animal in your household. Find a way to stock it up. But in addition to that, a lot of different beverages can be stored in your pantry. Are you a coffee drinker? You going to be caught without your coffee? I know I'm not. Are you a tea drinker? Are you going to be caught without your tea? No, you're not. You can find different things to do for drinks, for beverages, for your entire family. They have cases of V8 juice at Sam's Club that I saw. Ridiculously low price for a very large quantity of cans of V8 juice. I was just talking with somebody about that today. And that's a great thing to have on hand. Not only are you getting something wet to take in, some kind of beverage, right? But on top of that, you're getting vitamins, you're getting nutrients. Try to focus on stuff that's not high sugar, because that doesn't really benefit anybody in an emergency, but make sure that it's flavorful and something that everybody in the house likes, or at least that one grumpy person. Don't forget about other essential supplies, because your pantry is not just about food. It's about, what do you serve it on? What do you eat it with? How do you clean up after it? How do you do the laundry? How do you know? All of that fun stuff. So it's not just the food. It's the utensils that you need in order to create the food and eat the food. So I have a stash of 500 forks and 500 butter knives. I figure if I need to, I can drink the broth from a soup and eat the rest with a fork, right? But I have plasticware here just in case of an emergency. I have paper plates. I have Solo cups. I have paper towels and toilet paper. I have dish soap. I have laundry soap. I have a plethora of things here that will make life a little bit easier and take that pressure off of my budget because I've built it up. I literally am not going to have to deal with laundry soap for a couple more years. And that's great because I haven't had to deal with laundry soap for a couple of years now. That's a nice strain off your budget because that stuff's going up in price. I'm almost convinced to start making it myself again after watching Claire in our Facebook group. Have the shampoo, have the conditioner, have the bar soap or the body wash, whatever the case may be. You want those essentials in your pantry so that you're not just focusing on the food, but on life in general around your food. Probably one of the most important aspects of your pantry is that it is not a set it and forget it. That's not the way it works. I walked into my pantry today and my cat was sitting on the chair that I'm sitting in. That is not his normal place. And so immediately I went on high alert going, why are you in my pantry? Is there something else in my pantry? What are you looking for? You know, so I immediately started looking around extra close to see if there was something I wasn't aware of. It turns out he was just in here chilling because nobody else was in here. You want to get in here and you want to rotate things around. Couple of reasons. One, the stuff doesn't last forever, okay? You want to make sure that you're rotating through it. It is not a waste of money. When you go to the store and buy that first one that you're putting back, the next time you go to the store, you buy 2. And the next time you go to the store, maybe you can buy 3 because you haven't had to put money towards that for a little bit. So it's kind of a building process. You are not going to do this overnight. Do not get down on yourself. If you are just starting, you are at the most important part right now. It is never too late to start stocking a pantry. That is ridiculous for anybody to say that. You are where you're supposed to be. And if you're just starting out, now's the time to start doing it. Stocking it up, buying 2 instead of 1 when you can, stocking up extra proteins, stocking up extra vegetables, extra fruits. I have covered a lot of our needs with freeze-dried food, but a lot of it is also stuff that I bought from the store, from Walmart. And I know, bioengineered, I've heard it, okay? Pick your battles, people. Pick your battles. There is no such thing as pantry shame here. I don't play that game. You do you to the best of your ability. Seriously. Don't let anybody pressure you into something that you just are not interested in. There are fruits and stuff that I buy canned from Walmart. Why? Because there's a Walmart here. There's not a lot of choice around here. But secondly, because it's easier in my time constraints to buy it already commercially canned. You're not going to shame me into changing that. That doesn't matter. But the important part is that you're going to rotate through this. So you rotate through the pantry, and if it's something that you genuinely use, that you find that you still like, then you just backfill that the next few grocery trips, and you don't have to worry about looking at it again for a little while. It's a process. It's a lifestyle. It is not a set it and forget it. The other bonus to going in and rotating your stock is that you're aware when issues come up. Like if something had been visiting me and the cat was on alert to something, okay? You want to make sure that you're on top of this at least once a week. Go in there and say, anybody else in here? Do I see any droppings? Do I see anything moved? Hey, how did that shelf get empty? Something to pay attention to. It should be something you look at as regularly as you brush your teeth, as you brush your hair. Just walk in, give it a scope, say, okay, where am I at? What do I need to improve? Where am I missing? It becomes a lifestyle. It really does. And it doesn't take that much time once you develop that habit. Like any habit, it takes a little time to get into it. But once you're there, it's a lifestyle that you will never change. Pantry preparedness is a very important part of disaster preparedness. By having a well-stocked pantry, you can ensure that you and your family will have what you need during a weather event or a medical emergency or a financial emergency or the end of the world as we know it. Pantry preparedness is what I do. It is so important to me that it really is kind of all-encompassing. It is something that I enjoy. I enjoy feeding people. That is my love language. I enjoy feeding people. And so this allows me to know that I can do that without breaking the bank and without putting anybody at risk. That's the important part. Check out more about how to stock your pantry at this video here. And until next time, everybody, be safe.